Birdman threatened Jay-Z and the NFL for choosing Kendrick Lamar over Lil Wayne. How is he gonna make them put respect on his name? Another NFL season is underway and the preparations for the Super Bowl in New Orleans are too. On the first NFL Sunday of the season, Kendrick Lamar was announced to be the 2025 Super Bowl halftime show performer, and it pissed a lot of people off, including the Cash Money family. Birdman says he's gonna make the NFL and Jay-Z respect them after Lil Wayne was snubbed as headliner. But how is he gonna do that? Is all of this just making matters worse between Roc Nation and Cash Money? Fans were taken aback by the decision to let Kendrick Lamar perform at the 2025 Super Bowl instead of Lil Wayne. The last time the Super Bowl was held in New Orleans was back in 2013, and ironically enough, Beyonce performed. Now that Jay-Z is co-producer of these decisions, more hip-hop acts are starting to be selected for the gig, so everyone felt like Lil Wayne was the perfect person to perform in his hometown. But clearly, that's not the case with the committee who makes these decisions. The announcement for Kendrick Lamar comes shortly after he engaged in a battle with Drake, who was signed to Lil Wayne in the beginning of his career. So really, some fans are even looking at it as a way to entice the beef. YMCMB members, specifically Nicki Minaj and Drake, have responded in their own ways about what they deem to be a snub. Nicki went on a social media rant to show her anger towards the selection, and out of all the times she's been rumored to have issues with Jay-Z and Beyonce, this is the most direct she's been about it. But during her rant, Birdman tweeted that he's feeling the same way. So because of what they believe is a clear snub to be petty, jealous, and just pure hatred for the Cash Money family, he's gonna make Hov and the NFL respect him. And not only did he tweet that, but he put it on Gladys, his late mother. But what does he mean? Is this a violent threat, or is this a way for him to say he's making this personal on his end too? The beef between Cash Money and Roc Nation, Jay-Z specifically, has a long history. The subtle beef went as far as causing Lil Wayne to send bars at Jay-Z, but then they pieced it up, and it took Lil Wayne to go against Birdman to make it happen. Unfortunately, Birdman has an awful reputation when it comes to paying people, especially his artists. Nobody would have thought Birdman would treat the guy he calls his son like that, but when it happened, things got weirdly difficult. Lil Wayne wanted to drop his long-anticipated album, The Carter 5, but was blocked from doing so. Then, it turned out that Birdman may be stealing from him. Birdman made it worse when he took in Young Thug and formed the group Rich Gang, which included Thug and Rich Homie Quan. Young Thug has always been vocal about Lil Wayne being his favorite artist, but because of the feud between Birdman and Wayne, Wayne didn't seem to accept Thug with open arms when they finally met. Young Thug eventually released his debut album, The Barter 6, during the time Wayne was trying to fight for The Carter 5 to drop. It started to look like Birdman and Thug were trying to block Lil Wayne from continuing his Carter series while also replacing him as the top dog on the label. Lil Wayne eventually announced that Jay-Z came in the clutch and paid $14 million of his taxes so he could be free from the IRS. And since then, Lil Wayne's eyes were open. He realized he and Hov didn't necessarily have a problem with each other. So every now and then, they'd be seen hanging with each other, sharing laughs and conversations. Actually, that's exactly what happened a couple of weeks before the Super Bowl announcement. Is Lil Wayne even upset about not being chosen as the halftime performer? Despite everyone speaking up for him, he hasn't said anything about it. Even his engineer turned manager spoke on it. Could that be the representation for how Wayne really feels? Possibly. Some people believe Kendrick will bring Lil Wayne out during the show since Lil Wayne is one of, if not his top favorite rappers ever. But regardless if he does or not, Birdman seems to have a great disdain with the decision and is taking it out on Jay-Z. What's even crazier is a memo was released saying that Jay-Z and his Roc Nation team aren't the final say-so for the performances. Instead, the city's council is. They agree on the artists and send their choices back to the NFL to make things final. So there's a chance the city of New Orleans were the ones who didn't want Lil Wayne performing. Will Birdman eventually send threats to his hometown if that's true? The whole thing is just a pile of confusion, anger, and personal beef. But one thing's for sure, Kendrick is performing there no matter how many threats Birdman makes. And that's on Miss Gladys.
in XXXTentacion's death. Kendrick and Drake have been trading jabs like it's nobody's business, but Kendrick just cranked up the heat to a whole new level. Kendrick's pointing fingers at Drake, suggesting he might have had a hand in X's death. Fans are convinced Kendrick's dropping hints about Drake and the whole X beef in his latest diss track, and they might not be too far off. This feud didn't just appear out of thin air. It actually started back in February 2017, when Drake was in Amsterdam, teasing snippets of his track KMT featuring Gigs. People started noticing some similarities between Drake's flow and X's signature style on Look at Me. And when the accusations started flying, Drake tried to brush it off like it was no big deal.
I'm seeing all this on my IG under like some random picture of people being like, you took this kid's flow or whatever, right? So I'm just like, yo, what's happening to me right now, you know? So I'm sitting there, I'm trying to read, like figure out who they're talking about. I find out who they're talking about.
Is this the extension guy?
I don't even think that's how you say his name. But yeah,
I tried to find.
They call him extension. I go and I find what song they're talking about, and I listen to it. I'm like, okay, I see where people could draw like this comparison off of like the first two lines, whether it be the cadence or the rhyme pattern or whatever. And I'm just like, yo, it's crazy that people think that after all this time, after all I've been through, that I'm the type of person to go pre some song that's on SoundCloud. It doesn't have like 2 plays. It has plays, you know, he has his cult following, and go and think that I'm gonna like take that and make it my own. Like, I'm not stupid. I'm not like a person like that, you know?
But X wasn't having any of it. He went full-on Twitter rampage mode, blasting Drake for supposedly stealing other artists' tunes. Then he called out Drake's career trajectory, warning him to start investing in real estate, because when the music gig dries up, he'll have nothing left. X didn't just leave it at that. He also hopped on the line with DJ Academics from behind bars, calling Drake out on his claims of never hearing about X before.
Drake knew who I was at that point in time. Long before that. Long before the videos, long before he was exposed for what he did. He knew. And he went on the fucking video and lied. That's that way, period.
It wasn't just the music and the Twitter beef that had X fired up. Drake's absence when X needed support the most also bothered him.
Let's clear the air right now. What happened between you and Drake? Is there beef or not?
I don't want nobody coming at me crazy, you feel me? Like I saw it, bro, you feel me? Like I wasn't wrong. Bro hit up a DJ that I with.
Who did?
Drake.
Okay.
Drake hit up a DJ that I with, and bro told me, he was like, yo, Drake, watch your interview. He said he with you, and he with your partner Ski Mask. He's like, yo, he said he go call your manager within the next few days.
Okay.
So I'm amped up. You feel me? Drake a genius.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Despite me disrespecting him as a man, because I can't respect him as a man, I respect that career. That's the GOAT.
Okay.
Corporately, that is the GOAT.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I knew what I was doing when I said what I said, and I knew how to approach it.
Then he took to Instagram Live to throw some more shade at Drake's mom.
Hey, tell Drake mom I want some hey, tell Drake mom I want some tapioca pudding.
When X's life was taken in broad daylight outside a Florida motorcycle shop, people immediately started pointing fingers at Drake. Fans noticed that Drake's got his own wordplay going on too in his song On BS from Her Loss, where he drops,
if he held his tongue on that live, he'd be alive again. Down.
People think he might have been alluding to X's Instagram Live there. Now that Kendrick released Not Like Us, everyone is speculating if he hinted at Drake's involvement in X's death. So Kendrick threw these cryptic lines.
How many stocks do I really have in stock? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plus 5.
Fans are saying that the 5 plus 5 could be a nod to X, and when he's questioning how many stocks he has in stock, he might be hinting he could delve into the situation much deeper. And let's not forget I'm Upset from Scorpion.
SMS, triple X. That's the only time I ever shoot below the neck.
Fans theorize that SMS supposedly stands for Send My Shooters. Triple X is a reference to XXXTentacion, and Shoot Below the Neck refers to exactly how X was murdered. Is Kendrick onto something?
On Drake. I did not put hands on Drake.
Oh.
And I do not want any problems with Drake.
Diddy is a mogul in the truest sense of the word. He's managed to make a major impact in the worlds of music, business, and even film.
15,000 units! You made me vouch for Chocolate Daddy 15,000 units! I got 6 kids!
He's been so successful in everything that he's done, it often begs the question, is there anything that Diddy can't do? Yes, and that's ride a motorcycle.
Man,
What the? Oh, goddamn, I should have wore a helmet.
Anybody that's followed Diddy's career from the early stages will know that his hit-making abilities transcend the world of music and into the realm of physical violence. In fact, as long as Diddy has been making hit records, he's also been bashing people up. Let me give you a quick rundown on P. Diddy's illustrious career of people. He the general manager of MCA Records in the face when he was 19.
One day, I come in and I have an argument with the general manager. I shirt off, I him in the face.
In 96, he threatened the president of Bad Boy Records with a baseball bat if he wasn't given back the 25% equity that person owned. He also smashed a champagne bottle over Steve Stout's head because Steve didn't remove a scene of him nailed to a cross in the 1999 music video for Hate Me Now with Nas. So in a now famous incident at Club Live in Miami, Diddy decided to put hands on arguably one of the most famous and successful hip-hop artists of our generation, a hitmaker that's actually got more Billboard slaps than the Beatles, Drizzy Drake. Now, prior to this incident, you would have thought that Drizzy and Diddy were the best of friends. Drake brought out Diddy and Mace at a 2013 OVO Fest performance.
Tonight was one of the best nights of my life, man. He's a great host, but you know, he's a king, you know what I'm saying? Young king.
And the two had even collaborated as early as 2010 on the track Loving You No More from Diddy's Last Train to Paris album. This song led to a music video that featured Drake and Diddy rapping back-to-back years before Drake would go back-to-back on Meek Mill in their beef. It also features a scene that shows the real dangers of hanging up your platinum plaques on the wall with stick-on picture hooks. We've all been there. The first cracks in Drake and Diddy's relationship seems to appear in February 2014 when they were both performing together at Club Live in Miami. During this performance, a seemingly disrespectful but apparently accidental move was made by Drake to snatch the mic from Diddy while he was performing.
Woo! Front row! Did Drake just grab Diddy's mic? Seriously, did he?
You gotta hand it to Drake. He snatched that mic so quickly, Diddy didn't even notice it was gone. Some people have suggested that this incident was actually the spark that led to a much bigger beef around the beat for the song 0 to 100. The melody for this beat was originally put together by instrumentalist and producer Frank Dukes. At this point, Frank had produced some hits for some legendary artists and albums, including Eminem's Marshall Mathers LP2 that went on to win a Grammy, Ghostface Killer's Apollo Kids, and also some not-so-good albums. Frank actually knew Drake and Boy Wonder from way back, having produced the track Money from his initial mixtape Room for Improvement, where Drake actually shouts out Frank at the top of the track. Frank actually sent the beat that he was working on over to Boy Wonder, who was in a studio session with Diddy in Miami at the time. Boy Wonder is of course famous for producing countless hits in the hip-hop scene, including the classic Forever, which featured Drake, Kanye, Eminem, and Lil Wayne. Boy Wonder took Frank's work and pieced it together into a full beat on the spot in the session with Diddy. But after playing that beat to Diddy, Diddy said, nah, the beat wasn't life-changing enough, so he passed and moved on to something else. Story goes that down the line, Diddy decided that he did want the track, and he actually sent it to Drake in order for him to ghostwrite for it, as well as lay on a verse of his own so that he could be featured on the song with Diddy.
What happened to the beat, the 0 to 100? They said that was your record at first. Was there any truth to that? Even there was a clip of you at a club.
Yeah. There was a 0 to 100 was initially a record that was my record.
Now, when you say 0 to 100 was yours, you mean just the beat, or it was the hook and everything?
Now it was the beat, and
You sent Drake the song for him to get on it for you?
No, for him to ghostwrite for me.
Apparently, Drake recorded the entire song, sent it to Diddy, but Diddy decided not to use it. So at that point, Drake decides to have the song as a SoundCloud throwaway, and he uploads it on July the 15th. Boy Wonder later said in an interview with Tidal that the whole thing was just one massive misunderstanding.
But that was riddled in controversy with the whole Puffy thing. Like, was that really supposed to be his record? Like, why was that?
I won't get into crazy detail with that, but it was a misunderstanding.
But misunderstanding or not, when Drake throws that song onto SoundCloud, it blows up. The song is huge with fans because it's quite reminiscent of Drake's classic Started From the Bottom. The song was even used as part of an ad campaign with Sprite that featured both Drake and Nas as part of a promotion where they were selling cans of Sprite that featured lyrics from different hip-hop songs. And people say that I'm a culture vulture. It also got used on the soundtrack of NBA 2K16. So that song that Diddy passed on is now booming in the streets, and he's not too happy. Later in that same month, July 2014, Diddy is on stage and he decides to play 0 to 100 along with a pretty salty introduction.
I'm gonna play this next beat, but I want somebody to get this on tape. I'm gonna play this next beat. I gave this to this big for me, but at the end of the day, shit is still hard. Play that.
Diddy and Drake don't cross paths for months until everything comes to a head at DJ Khaled's 39th birthday party in that same club, Club Live, where Drake had taken the microphone from Diddy. Khaled's birthday was and always is a star-studded affair, and it looked like a who's who of hip-hop royalty. Busta Rhymes was there wearing a chain that was so big, I'm not sure if he was trying to flex or just make sure that nobody stole his head. Diddy was seen partying with Young Money, Cash Money veteran and no-hit wonder Mac Main, and DJ Khaled performed to a crowd that was seemingly looking in the complete opposite direction, whilst ASAP Ferg whispered to DJ Mustard to reassure him that at least one person knew who he was. For his birthday, Khaled received a birthday cake which was enormous and featured a picture of French Montana at the base, which is unusual because usually French Montana is only seen at DJ Khaled's base when he is deep-throating him in exchange for studio time. Apparently, Diddy tried to confront Drake in the club about him using the 0 to 100 beat, but Drake was having none of it. After that, as Drake was leaving, Diddy made a beeline towards his car. Drake got out the truck to speak to Diddy, and apparently Diddy was heard shouting, "Handle your business and you'll never disrespect me again."
You never disrespect nobody down with me.
At this point, Diddy hit Drake in the face with a firm. In the midst of this crazy scene, a massive melee broke out, and Drake actually got his shoulder dislocated and had to go to hospital that night. There were rumors going around that this fight was actually all over Diddy's girlfriend at the time, Cassie, and Drake flirting with her at the club, but this was later disproven as a rumor that was started by the comedian Lil Duval. Drake, of course, posted a predictably emotional Instagram post a couple of days later. There was a lot of speculation in the aftermath, but ultimately there was no retaliation from Drake, although a couple of months later, CEO of Rap-A-Lot Records and Dollar Store P. Diddy, Jay Prince, decided to get involved. It's funny to go back to this story and see Jay Prince sticking up for Drake just like he did after the whole Pusha T beef kicked off. Drake is like the disrespectful kid that goes around starting fights and tells people that they need to fight his brother. This retaliation by Jay Prince probably would have been helpful had it not come 3 months after the incident itself. Diddy never actually addresses this incident, not until months later in August of 2015 when he appears on The Breakfast Club denying that this thing ever happened and also saying that Drake is actually his favorite rapper.
Honestly, it was a misunderstanding. Honestly, Drake is actually my favorite rapper.
For countless credible people in the industry like academics, Charlemagne, and Rick Ross's DJ Sam Sneak all corroborate that this went down.
DJ Sam Sneak, he saw Drake get and he said Drake didn't go from 0 to 100. He said Drake went from 0 to tears to the hospital.
Diddy really did Drake in the face.
Oh, I got that call 4 o'clock in the morning. Diddy just Drake. And lo and behold, it turned out that it was true.
I heard it was over the 0 to 100 beat.
Exactly. Well, the funny thing is, Drake didn't even address this until an entire year after Diddy's Breakfast Club interview. In June 2016, Drake dropped the song 4 p.m. in Calabasas on OVO Sound. This song was actually the 4th installment in Drake's AM/PM series. This series included 9 p.m. in Dallas, 5 a.m. in Toronto, and 6 p.m. in New York. Sometimes I can't tell whether Drake is a musician or a train conductor. If we've learned one thing from this series, it's no matter the city or time zone, we know that Drake is probably in his feelings about something. It's also worth noting that this track 4 p.m. in Calabasas was also co-produced by Frank Dukes, who produced that original 0 to 100 beat. Drake doesn't really address any of what happened on this song, but he does make a bunch of cryptic references by using lyrics from Diddy's career. His ha 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 line is a reference to Diddy's Can't Nobody Hold Me Down. He says No Way Out in reference to Diddy's original album. He says take that, which is of course a classic Diddy catchphrase. The line where he says Drake stop smoking la la, he even uses Diddy's famous can't stop, won't stop line. The story goes that these two have seemingly patched things up at this point, though some doubt was cast on this by an unusual incident that same year where Diddy seemed to pick up Drake's VMA for the video Hotline Bling and tells him to come and collect it from his house.
Hey, yo, Drake is stuck in traffic, so I'm gonna take this all the way back to the crib. Yo, Drake, come get this.
There you have it. That's why Diddy Drake. And if I was Drake, I would just be proud that I joined the ranks of people that Diddy has over the years. When it comes to physical violence, we all know that Diddy can't stop, won't stop.